My husband wanted to have his cake and eat me too by forcing me into an open marriage. But it backfired on him because I'm getting way more action. It's a bright Saturday morning, and I'm sitting on the porch of our cozy little house in the suburbs of New Jersey, sipping on my coffee, gazing at the perfectly manicured lawn that once felt like a sanctuary to me. But today it feels like the beginning of a chapter I never imagined writing. My mind keeps drifting back to that fateful conversation with Mark, my husband. It all started innocently enough, or at least it seemed innocent. I can still hear his voice in my head, calm and smooth as silk, when he first suggested the idea of an open marriage. He had this look in his eyes, like a man who thought he was being oh so enlightened, like he was introducing me to some new form of modern love. But I wasn't ready for what he really meant. "I think we're doing great, right?" he'd asked, sitting across from me at dinner one night, his voice nonchalant, almost too casual. I smiled, raising an eyebrow. "Of course we are. What's this all about?" "Well," he hesitated, setting down his fork with precision. "I was thinking, we've been married for 5 years now, and we have everything. Each other, the house, the careers. Maybe we could open things up a little. You know, have the best of both worlds. I want to keep what we have, but I think it could be exciting for us to experience other people. Together." I stared at him, not quite believing my ears. Was he asking me to share him with someone else? The very thought made my stomach churn, but then he dropped it. "I mean, wouldn't it be fun to experience new things? We're modern, aren't we?" I laughed awkwardly, but the unease in my chest grew stronger. My mind spun, trying to process what he was proposing. Was this what everyone was doing now? It seemed so foreign to me, yet somehow, I didn't want to seem closed-minded, outdated. After all, we were in New Jersey, a place where all kinds of lifestyles were accepted, where things were changing and evolving rapidly. Maybe this was the future of love. Maybe I was just old-fashioned. Maybe I was too scared to take that leap. But deep down, a part of me had this gnawing suspicion, this nagging feeling that Mark wasn't really about us, as he claimed. No, he wasn't asking for mutual exploration. Not at all. What he wanted was freedom. Freedom to have the cake and eat it too, all while I stayed at home, waiting for him with a smile. I didn't want to disappoint him, so I agreed. I said yes, hesitantly, but I said yes. And the agreement was supposed to be simple. We would both have permission to sleep with other people, as long as we were open about it. A new, daring experience for our relationship. But what neither of us anticipated was how quickly that decision would change everything. Fast forward a few weeks. Mark was already out there, testing the waters, meeting women. I had heard about it from his texts and our conversations, always with a casual tone, as if it was all so normal. I couldn't help but wonder if it was really as simple as he made it seem, if I had been too naive to think this wouldn't affect me in some way. But then it happened. I met him. It was at a cafe in Manhattan, a random chance encounter, but something about it felt destined. His name was Leo, a charming European with an accent that immediately disarmed me. He didn't know about my open marriage. I didn't tell him at first. It was only supposed to be a flirtation, a harmless conversation between two strangers. But as the evening wore on, I found myself caught up in his gaze, in the way he made me feel seen, valued, in a way that had been absent from my marriage for far too long. What started as innocent coffee turned into drinks, then dinner, then I let myself go. I let myself feel something I hadn't felt in years, desired, wanted, appreciated. It wasn't about revenge, not at first. But as the weeks passed and I saw how little Mark truly cared about my own desires, my own needs, I began to realize something. I was not just participating in the open marriage, I was thriving in it. The more I gave into this new world, the more power I felt. I was exploring, yes, but not just my body. I was rediscovering who I was. I was reconnecting with parts of myself I thought I had lost. I was alive again. Mark had no idea what he had started. He would come home late, bragging about his latest encounters, his casual affairs with other women. He would talk about his adventures, expecting me to listen and smile. But I wasn't the same woman anymore. I wasn't waiting for him. I had my own adventures now. Leah wasn't the only one. I had met several others, each encounter more thrilling than the last. I didn't feel guilty. I felt liberated. And that's when it all came crashing down. One night, Mark came home earlier than expected. His face, usually so confident and carefree, was clouded with frustration. He asked me if I had been seeing someone. I didn't lie. I didn't have to. I looked him in the eye and said, "Yes, I have. And honestly, I'm happier than I've ever been." He stared at me, his eyes wide with shock, anger rising in his chest. For a moment, he couldn't speak. Then he lashed out, accusing me of ruining everything, of betraying him. But what he didn't see, what he couldn't see, was that he had already betrayed me. His need for freedom, his desire to have everything, had backfired. I wasn't just participating in this open marriage. I was winning in it. I was thriving, and he couldn't stand it. The next few weeks were filled with tension, arguments, accusations, the slow unraveling of a marriage that had started with so much hope, but ended with so much betrayal. Mark wanted his cake, and he wanted to eat me too, but in the end, he couldn't handle the reality of it. He thought he could control the narrative, but what he didn't understand was that by pushing me into this open marriage, he had only set me free. It's been 6 months now. Mark and I are no longer together. He couldn't keep up with my new life, my new freedom. He tried to win me back, but I couldn't look at him the same way. He wanted an open marriage, but I found my own path. And that path led me to a place of self-discovery, to a place where I no longer needed his permission or approval. Now, as I sit here, looking out over our former home, I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I'm free. I've found happiness in places I never expected, with people who see me for who I am. And Mark? He's still out there, searching for something that I already found. My own freedom. It's funny, isn't it? How sometimes you have to lose everything to realize what you truly need. The narration fades out, leaving the audience to reflect on the complexity of relationships, the consequences of desire, and the power of personal transformation.